Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but we've been through the Christmas season of 2025 and New Year's and sickness in my family and just a lot going on. That and a lot of extra overtime hours at work, and I just haven't had a lot of time to sit and ponder things to discuss here. But something did come up in the past couple of days, and it got me thinking a little. It's a topic I've talked with friends and family about before, but thought I'd share it here. I've mentioned we're doing a remodeling project on our house, and we're having somebody do some tile work in a new bathroom. And the guy that we hired came as a referral from a friend of my father-in-law, a coworker of my father-in-law, and seemed like a really nice guy. And we got him started on the project probably a month ago. And unfortunately, we had to basically fire him yesterday because the work was not up to the quality that we expected for what we're paying. Nice guy, agreeable, but just wasn't working out. We found several mistakes that were made, and we point them out, and he'd have to back up and fix those things, and you can use up more time. And then my sister-in-law, who's really is an interior designer who really kind of designed this project for us and was heading it up, she came to help do some painting in the bathroom, and she saw the problems with the tile work that he couldn't really go back and fix. And she was emotional. She was very angry. She was sad. She was actually brought to tears because this was one of her first big residential projects, and she cared a lot about having it turn out well so it could be kind of a calling card for her, something she could be really proud of. And also, it's for family, and she wanted us to be happy with it for many years to come. So the decision was made to let him go, cut ties with him, and just we had paid him half the project up front. And as it stands, we just said, take the money for what you've done and go. And unfortunately, I think we're going to have to buy all new tile. Everything that's been used so far, at least. We're going to tear all of it out and have somebody come and start over. There are problems with the seams between the tiles not running perfectly parallel to the wall. So when we install the sink and countertop and cabinets and stuff, the lines on the floor were going to be crooked compared to the wall, and the cabinets, it was going to be very obvious when you walked in the door. Things were not straight. Things were not in line with each other. And some other issues as well. The flooring in the shower area, the water didn't run downhill to the drain properly. We tested it out after he was done, poured some water on the floor, and it just sat there. Didn't run towards the drain. Those are pretty serious things. But that all brings me to the point of this video, which is we were frustrated. We were sad. We were a little angry. But when it came time to let this gentleman know and to fire him, we tried very hard to be kind. We were not angry. We just let him know. The reason is that we are disappointed with the work, the quality of the work. We thanked him for his time. We didn't argue about the money. We just said, take the money you've been given. You've clearly done the work. You've put in time. You deserve paid. But we can't let you keep going because we're going to have to start over. And that got me thinking about a lot of other conversations I've had about the way we, as a society, talk to people in service industries. In particular, I always think about going through the drive-thru at a restaurant. Or I guess anytime you're ordering food, really. But it seems like we do it the most in drive-thrus because we're talking to a speaker It's kind of like online where you talk to, you can type things because you're behind a screen. You don't see the person you're writing to. And so a lot of people are much less kind than they would be to somebody face to face. You pull up to the speaker at a drive-through and you say, yeah, I'll take a burger and fries and give me a Coke. And that always catches my attention when I hear people do that, because I go, you say, give me a, and I'll take. But I don't know, that's not how it works. They say, what can I get for you? Or how may I help you today? And you say, give me this, give me that. That's not how I was raised. I was taught, you ask. So if they say, what can I get you today? You say, could I get a burger and fries, and I'd like a Coke, or something along those lines. Could I get, or whatever. It's subtle little things like that come to mind, and I don't know, it gets my attention. And a lot of people roll their eyes when I talk about it, and maybe you are too right now. That's fine, I guess. That's your choice. But if you were in a service industry and people spoke to you like that all day and just said, do this, give me that, I want this, tell me, I think it'd get old. It's subtle, but I think it'd wear on me. It'd probably wear on you. Maybe you do work in one of those industries and you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know. I know we're in this age where the tipping culture has gotten crazy. People in service industries who, mostly we see tipping with people waiting tables, or, the occasional fancier hotel has a bellhop, or somebody who actually moves luggage for you, or a valet. Those people provide a service, and I understand they're kind of going above and beyond, and they probably deserve a tip. I had some discussion with a friend years ago about barbers. I don't go to any fancy salons. I just went to a straight up barber for many, many years back when I had hair. And, in those days, a haircut was $10, and I gave them $10. They seemed to be satisfied. That was the deal. And somebody I was dating at one point went with me, and they're like, you tipped them, right? Said, no. They tell them, I said, how much is it? They said $10. I give them $10. We're done. That's how I'd always seen it. There's nothing wrong with tipping them. If you're particularly happy with the job they did and you want to tip, feel free. It's your money and you can gift it any way you like. But I didn't know that tipping a barber was a regular thing. And I'm still not sure. Maybe it's just the way that girlfriend was raised. But nowadays, everywhere you go, it's on the screen, and you almost feel obligated because it's there. But it used to be, you'd go to McDonald's and you ordered your food. Somebody in the kitchen made your food. They put it in a bag. They hand it to you, and you leave. And now there are opportunities to tip people for doing that same thing. And that doesn't seem right to me. But there's a lot that goes into it. And I don't think it's the fault of the person who handed you your food, and I don't think we should be angry with them. The company's doing it. The company's trying to find ways to get you to pay their employee so the company doesn't have to, but the company still gets to make the same profits they always did, or more. And not a fan of that. And along with that, we're talking about fast food. I remember growing up, if you waited in line at McDonald's for more than, I don't know what the time frame was. I had friends when I was in high school who worked there, and they said that there was a very set limit, that if a person was in line at the drive-through window for more than a minute, we'll say, you were supposed to apologize or give them a free dessert or something. That was service back then. There was an expectation. It's fast food. It's supposed to be fast. And if you couldn't live up to it, you apologize with something of substance and words. Pizza delivery, 30 minutes or less, or it's free. Used to be a thing. I don't know if it is anymore. I never lived in a place where I had pizza delivered. But I know for a fact that McDonald's doesn't do that anymore. You can sit in that line for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and there's not even an apology a lot of times. I got lunch somewhere yesterday where I ordered online 15 minutes before my lunch break started. Then I had to drive a few minutes to get there. And I arrived and said I was there, and they said, your order's not ready yet. It'll be a couple more minutes. I said, okay. I sat down and I waited. I was unhappy about it because I have a limited lunchtime at my job. But while I was annoyed by that, I thought the point of ordering early was to increase the odds of your food being ready when you get there. When the employee brought me my meal, said it's ready, she walked up and she said, very sorry about the delay. We put a free dessert in the bag. I said, oh, thank you. That was very nice of you. And I left. Still annoyed that I had missed part of my lunchtime not being able to eat my lunch, but in a better mood immediately because she acknowledged it, she apologized, and they made an effort to make up for it. And I think that's good service, and I think our world needs a little more of that. If you're in a service industry, the level of your service to your customers matters. But this needs to be handled as a company, not just individual employees. They don't have that power. They can't be handing out free desserts by their own choice. The company has to say, this is our procedure. I don't know. I really haven't ever worked in service industry, especially food service. And I have not personally witnessed a fraction of the horror stories that people have. I just heard a few, and I always try not to become one of those horror stories. I'm not always happy with the service, but I also try not to take it out on the employee who I personally dealt with. It may not be their fault. I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for taking a few minutes to listen to me talk about this or any other video, or I'm just here to share my thoughts on whatever has been on my mind lately. I am sure some of these videos will be relatable to some of you, and I'd love to hear about it. Have a great day. I'll see you again soon. Please like and subscribe to see more videos in the future. Thank you.